It's time to start your morning by taking 5. Here's your host, Matt McMaster.
You're listening to Take 5, quick 5-minute take on the biggest things happening in Nebraska sports. I am your host, Matt McMaster. Today we are talking about Nebraska football and why week 1 of the season against Cincinnati is so important. I have dubbed this year the checkmark year for Matt Rule. Okay? There are a lot of things that Nebraska football over the last decade hasn't, or more, frankly, hasn't been able to accomplish. They haven't beaten a Power 5 team in week 1 of the regular season since 2003. They haven't beaten a ranked team since 2016. They haven't beaten Iowa as long as Matt Rule has been the head coach of Nebraska. They haven't gone and won in Minnesota, and specifically won in Minnesota's current home stadium ever as a program. There are things that this team, this program, has done fairly badly over the last couple of years that Nebraska has now positioned themselves to rewrite and to do right. And I'm impressed, and I give them a ton of credit for doing those things and telling us that they're doing those things and following through on those things. But this is also the proof of concept era where it's great. All the talk that we've had and all of the optimism that we might have and the fact that this program actually is moving in a direction where you can see it being built, where you could see the next step, you can see the next hill to climb, right? But you actually have to go out there and do it. And Cincinnati is the beginning of that. And it is by far the most important game of the Matt Rule tenure because I think it dictates the momentum of the season. If Nebraska goes out and loses to Cincinnati to begin the year, it is going to be tough. It does not matter what you do against Akron. It does not matter what you do against Houston Christian. You're putting all your eggs now in the basket of Michigan. And you're saying, all right, you got to go out and you got to perform against Michigan. And the momentum that you had and that you've been building over these last 2 years now kind of go away if you don't beat Cincinnati. But it's not just about beating Cincinnati to me because what's bigger than winning in week 1 is beating a ranked team and beating a team that you're going to be an underdog against. Now, granted, this all comes down to does Michigan beat Oklahoma in the beginning of their season, but if they do, they are going to be a ranked team. And Nebraska is going to be an underdog in their own home stadium. And that game will then become the biggest game of the Matt Rule tenure because you'll be 3-0 and you'll have an opportunity to do something that you haven't been able to do. And frankly, your head coach hasn't had a ton of success doing in his career, which is beating top 25 teams. And it's not just enough to skirt by Cincinnati, in my opinion, right? This team needs as much momentum as possible. If they go out and they play sloppy and they just sneak out a 3-point victory against Cincinnati, heading into Michigan, you are, all right, you're 3-0, but you know in the back of your head, hey, this team may be outmatched here. They may not be as good as we think. Their record may be deceiving, might be a mirage. But if they go out and they blow out Cincinnati, if they go out and they stiff-arm Cincinnati and they just control the game from bell to bell, they are just better. They are just efficient on offense. The run game looks good. Things on they look fast on defense. They play well and they dominate that game. And pretty early on, you recognize that the team is going to win the game. That would do wonders, in my opinion, wonders for this team and their confidence and their momentum heading into Michigan. Because Cincinnati is really just the primer. It's really just the appetizer. You want to win at Cincinnati to give yourself the right to call Michigan the biggest game in the Matt Rule tenure. Because if you lose, there's not a ton of hype there. There's not a ton of excitement. If anything, there's the opposite. It's, we're 2-1, and now we got to welcome Michigan, and this is tough. Like, you're walking in there hoping, right? You're walking there hoping it'll be competitive. You're walking in there hoping you're going to beat Michigan in your home field. But if you beat Cincinnati and you dominate Cincinnati, you're not walking in a Memorial Stadium hoping that they are going to compete, hoping that they are going to win. You're walking into Memorial Stadium expecting them to compete and believing that they can win. And this team, just as much as the fans, in my opinion, they need to see it too, right? I'm not doubting that they believe everything that Matt Rule is selling them, okay? And I think that Matt Rule has done a phenomenal job of setting the culture of that program. But if you're told over and over and over again how good you are, but then you don't win games, how can you believe that? They need to go out and they need to prove to themselves, hey, we can come out week 1, beat a Power 5 team. Hey, we could go out in week 4 and beat a ranked Michigan team. This program needs the players wearing the uniforms more than anybody to see that their hard work has paid off, because nobody in that locker room has been a part of a team, in terms of players, none of the players in that locker room have been a part of a team that have won more than 7 games. So I don't think it's just, hey, a win is a win. You go out, you beat Cincinnati, it's all great, we're slapping on the ass. No, you got to go out and you got to prove, hey, we're not just squeaking out of here with a win. We are better. We are better. And we are the good team that we claim we are. And we've seen it and we've shown it. And we're going to go out and we're going to beat Michigan. That's what you have to say to yourself. That's how Nebraska has to approach the first quarter of this season. It's about proving to themselves and proving to everybody else, hey, this program, it's not just Matt Rule saying we're going in the right direction. It's not just getting good recruiting classes. It's actually putting it on the field, competing and playing and winning, which is something they haven't done in a while. All righty. I've been Matt McMaster, and that's been Take 5.